welcome. Thanks for coming. I'm Rochelle from Creative Spirit Collaborative, and I recently just held the first Wildflowers Visions coaching group for the summer version, and we did a somatic practice called the Kali pose. It's equivalent or akin to what's known in yoga as the goddess pose or the fierce warrior goddess pose. And so I wanted to share a little bit about that practice with you. So this pose is taken from the goddess called Kali, known in the Hindu pantheon. I work with her energy as an archetype. And she is known for the benefits and the characteristics of discernment and empowerment and grounding and a fierce cutting through of bullshit, honestly. And this sense of disempowerment and a collapsed ego and limiting beliefs that we often hold from trauma or from modern living, social media, and also just from social conditioning that we've got received from growing up. So Kali is a fierce goddess, and it's not for the light of heart, but it is not also to be feared, this practice, and has deep healing benefits. Kali is known as the goddess of time and death and destruction. I know, it's a little fierce. A little rough, but there's some trickster energy in there, and I think it's important to acknowledge that there's some paradox in this archetype, because she's also known as the divine mother or the divine feminine, that lends all of her teachings lends itself to transcendent knowledge in service of liberation. So pretty powerful there. That's the aspect that we're working with, particularly in the coaching, is this liberation from disabling, disempowering beliefs, fear, shame, self-doubt, self-criticism, self-judgment, inadequacy, those types of things. The iconography of Kali is pretty known to be, sometimes will be called grotesque, and again, really fierce. She wears a necklace of skulls and a skirt of severed hands, and is holding in one of her many hands a severed head, and lots of weapons and swords, tridents in her other hand, and is standing on Shiva. And as is often the case in yoga and tantric traditions, the meaning is many, many layers deep, and you have to study those traditions to get all the meanings. But I think that there's still something really potent here for us, and to be able to look at least the first surface level, which is, that cutting through, the sword of discernment. But we need this level of fierceness to cut through the limitations of social conditioning and ego trappings, to cut through the habitual comforting prisons of our mind and of society, to cut through all of those limiting beliefs, that prison that we find ourselves in, that is so often a contributing factor to depression and anxiety and stress. So here we go. I'm going to demonstrate this practice. Check it out. So you're going to take your feet wide in a really grounded stance, and you're going to bend the knees in a wide-legged squat and bring the arms up into scarecrow pose. And this stance itself is very empowering, really drawing earth energy up and warding off any negative energies with the hands of discernment, swords of discernment here. We're going to take it a couple steps further, though. And So we'll use a breathing practice that really borrows some of the energy cultivation from lion's breath and part of that practice as well. So we'll take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, we'll roar on the way out. Open the tongue, open the mouth, drop the tongue, and if you wish, with your eyes open or closed, looking at the third eye. So when you're ready, taking a deep breath in. Really drawing the deep fire from the core of the earth up, really pumping the diaphragm and the abdomen, the abdominal muscles, and drawing that fire energy from the sun down to clear out the blockages around the heart and the throat and the voice and even in the mind. We'll do it again a couple more times. Deep breath in. And we'll drop the arms, and this is the second part of this practice, and we're going to pull up, pull the roots of the weeds and the poisons, the shadow of what we're trying to break through. The fear, the shame, the inadequacy, the self-loathing, self-criticism, social conditioning, comparison, and we're drawing that up and through the body. This is where the fierceness of Kali is needed to look all of these fears and these conditions straight in the eye and to process them through the body, through the heart, through the universal heart, and trust that we have that capacity. And then so you're pulling these up through the body, processing, facing, contending with, and then transmuting and releasing that gift to the world, releasing that out to the universe, the universal heart, the sun and the earth take over and continue that process. And now you're just receiving that back, the resonance of that practice, the boons, as they say, of that practice back, receiving that into your arms, drawing it down through the crown of your head, down into your heart, letting it clear the voice, the throat, around the heart, clear the breath, and then bringing it down into your belly, centered empowerment down into your hara, your second chakra, down into your root, down into your legs, and down into the earth. That's the practice. This is a great practice for when you're feeling disempowered or when you're feeling even shame or just really like under the weather, unsure of yourself, questioning what your purpose is in life. This is a great pose for that, reconnecting with that source of who you are, with your heart, with your spirit, with your center, your core, your lunar energy, your feminine, divine feminine energy. It's not gendered. This can be true for any gender. This practice can be empowering for any gender. So I hope you enjoy this practice, and I hope it brings you great power and grounding and transmutation